Welcome back to The Grind for an Alliance Quest Map 8 video. This is going to be the first section in Path 5 on Day 5. I did release a full clear video on Day 1, but I did want to circle back and show Path 5 in the first section, a little bit of a quicker video using Tigra, who absolutely shreds this path. And I am not an expert Tigra player. A lot of the champions are very easy to play Tigra against. They're the type of champions that you would want to initially start practicing Tigra against because they have very easy to avoid special attacks and heavy attacks that you can then counter with your own heavy attack, which is how you stack up those ruptures, which the more ruptures you have, the more damage and power you're going to get back when you do throw off your special attacks and heavy attacks. So very nice, easy clear there against Hulkbuster. And the next fight on this path is Venom. Now Venom is one of the exceptions. He's not an easy one to necessarily play Tigra against, especially if you're a noob like myself. So I don't end up doing a whole lot of heavy countering because I am not able to get the spacing right after the special one. I sometimes will be able to push him in the corner and bait out a heavy to counter, but other times I will bait out a special one and then throw my special one so that I can then counter with a heavy in the corner. And you'll see how that works because you can throw your heavy immediately after a special one and counter the opponent before they dash in at you. So here we throw off the special one and then we charge our heavy right away and then we can throw it off. Now the AI is pretty passive a lot of the times, and so you saw he didn't dash in at me, which is why we didn't get any ruptures. So we were able to throw off a heavy attack there and then push him into the corner, but again, he's playing so passive. He's not attacking in, he's holding block or dashing back. So not ideal for us there. And now we've got both our senses back up again. So we parry in heavy and then we heavy again because he doesn't have a bar of power yet, but still he's not dashing in, he's just standing there. So it really kind of cuts down on the damage that we can get. However, when you have your two passives up and you throw your special two, you are going to apply some ruptures and you're still going to deal some decent damage. But this is one of the longer fights of at least section 1, and the other fights are ending in like 30 to 40 seconds, whereas this one was about a minute and a half or a minute and 40 seconds or something like that. You can see this is when the timers were only set to 3 minutes. Now they're set to 5 minutes. So we're almost at a minute and a half now actually, and he still has 40%, but now we got him in the corner. We go with the heavy, still not getting any stacks of rupture because he's not dashing in, but that special 2 still deals some decent damage, and we're gaining power back up again, so we're able to get back to a special 2 more quickly. And now we're at the special 2 again. We just dash back, throw it off, and finish off the fight. I guess it was about a minute and 50 seconds roughly, and then the ruptures finished him off. And now we're on to the next fight. And the next fight on this path is another one that's fairly simple. It's Jubilee. Now, Jubilee gains a lot of prowess effects, but if you keep her neutralized, she won't be able to gain them, and they'll actually turn into ruptures. So you can gain a lot of ruptures in this fight fairly easily. And again, Tigra is able to fairly simply counter her special attacks as well as her heavy attack if you can get that spacing down. And so here we go. We throw it off, and we throw it off a little early because I didn't use a light attack to close the distance. So we threw it off early so we could gain ground. And then here we do a light attack to close distance, but she dashes back. Thankfully, we had the special 1 on backup so that we can throw it off. And it's kind of a fail safe. If you whiff a heavy attack and they're dashing in and they're going to counter you, you can release the special 1, and no matter what, it's going to hit them. If they block, you're going to dash back and then you'll be unblockable. And now we got it locked in the corner, stacked up a bunch of ruptures, throw off the special 2 for some nice big damage. And this is day 5 again, and that was, I believe it was our first special 1. I was talking a lot and lost track, but I'm pretty sure that was our first special 1, and it finished off the fight on a day 5 opponent. Now this next one is Havoc, and he's probably the most annoying champion on this path, on path 5 in section 1 and section 3. And in this fight in particular, we're going to see he gets pretty passive, and it really makes it annoying. I did mess up there and took a hit, so that was my fault. But he gets very passive, and the AI on map 8 has seemed for a lot of people to be extremely passive, which has made things challenging. So we were able to counter the heavy attack, but that time we didn't get back far enough, so we got hit. Here, this time we did, so we're able to stack up some ruptures. Now we want to bait out the special 1, and you know, he in this fight is very reluctant to throw the special 1 at times. And when you try to counter the special 1, you have to dex right away. Otherwise, you'll end up too far back, as you saw on that one there. After this, we're going to see one that actually works, but he's not throwing his special one very easily. Now we dex back right away, and we can counter with that heavy attack. But again, now we have to bait out another special one, and he's just playing so passive. Finally, he throws it again, and we can counter with another heavy attack. So we're working him down pretty nicely. I threw off a special one here because our senses were about to expire as it was. But now we're trying to bait out the special attack yet again. And it's like 20 seconds or something to bait out these special attacks at times. And it really slows the fight down. You lose your senses. He ended up going over 2 bars of power. So I just threw off the special one. We ended up dexing this special 2, which is not something that I choose to do because I'm not super comfortable with it yet. We were able to counter another heavy attack, and now again we're trying to bait out the special one, and we ended up getting it and countering with another heavy attack. So we're really slowly working this down. We end up getting lucky and hitting him with that special one, and now again we're back into trying to bait out the special one. And this fight has just been so annoying because I couldn't get into a rhythm with Tigra, and Tigra's all about keeping a pace and keeping the rhythm going, and this fight was just not allowing it. And so I ended up counting another heavy, and then it got a little bit laggy and glitched. I don't know if you could notice that, but it froze, and then there was, I don't know if it was an input issue, maybe because of the lag. I definitely thought I dexed at the right time, but it didn't really go. So that was unfortunate, and I just had to finish off the fight with another champion. But here is the day 1 from my full path clear video. If you want to see the full path, you can check that out. But this one I was able to get into more of a rhythm, so we dex right as he jumps back, and we're able to keep him in the corner this time, so we can counter with a bunch of heavy attacks, and then throw off our special 2s, and it allows us to, get the rhythm going a little bit more. And here we go again, dexing that special one, countering with a heavy. He's in the corner, so we can throw off another heavy attack, and that really finished him off. So Tigra is obviously an amazing champion, but works really good for this path because you can ignore, if you can keep your neutralized up, you can ignore the stun buff as well as the power gain buff that comes from this node, and it makes it a pretty easy clear. Now, if you're interested in learning Tigra more, I do have a basic how-to video in my champions guides playlist, so check that out if you're interested, and I hope to see you in the next video.